I want to ask you something, and I want you to actually think about it before you answer. If somebody told you that you could retire with over $600,000 and all it required was $100 a month starting today, would you do it?
I mean, yeah, obviously.
Then why aren't you doing it right now?
I mean, I don't even know where to start.
That's what we're fixing today. Because the math on this is real. $100 a month. That's it. And by the time you're 65, if you start young enough, the market turns that into over $600,000. Today, we're going to break down exactly how that happens and exactly what it costs you if you wait.
All right, let's get into it. $600,000 from $100 a month. How is that even possible? Because I'm doing the math in my head and it's not adding up.
Good. Let's do the math together. $100 a month invested consistently starting at 25 years old in an index fund averaging 10% annually, which is roughly what the S&P 500 has returned historically. By the time you're 65, you got $632,000.
$632,000.
Now here's the part I want you to really sit with. Over those 40 years, how much do you think you actually put in out of your own pocket?
$100 a month for 40 years. That's $1,200 a year. 40 years, $48,000.
$48,000 of your own money. The market added $584,000 on top of that. You did the work for $48,000. Compounding did the work for $584,000.
So the market made more than 10 times what I put in.
More than 12 times. And you didn't work a single extra hour for any of it.
Okay, but 10%, is that a real number? Like, can you actually count on that?
You can't guarantee it. Let me be clear about that. Markets go up, markets go down. Some years are brutal. But the S&P 500, which is basically a basket of the 500 biggest American companies, has averaged just under 10% annually since 1957. That's through recessions, crashes, dot-com bubbles, 2008, all of it. Averaged out over decades, 10% is the historical number.
So what if it's lower, like 7%?
At 7%. Your $100 a month over 40 years becomes $262,000. Still a lot less than $632,000. But you still turned $48,000 of contributions into $250,000. The math is always dramatic when time is involved.
So even the conservative version is crazy.
Even the conservative version is something most people never come close to, because most people never start.
So what happens if somebody doesn't start at 25? Like, what if they wait until they're in their 30s?
This is the part that should make everybody uncomfortable. Same $100 a month, same 10% return, but you wait until 35 instead of 25. Now you only have 30 years instead of 40.
How much do you end up with?
$217,000.
Wait, so going from 40 years to 30 years drops you from $632,000 to $217,000.
That 10-year wait cost you $415,000.
From the same $100 a month.
From the exact same $100 a month. And here's what makes it worse. During those 10 years you waited, you would have only put in $12,000 of your own money. $12,000 in contributions. Produced $415,000 in lost wealth. That's what procrastination actually costs. Not $100, $400,000.
That number is genuinely upsetting.
It should be. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying it because once you understand what time is actually worth in this equation, you stop treating it like it's free.
But what about people who are already past 25? Like, is it too late if you're 30 or 35?
It's never too late to start. Never. Starting at 35 and ending up with $217,000 is infinitely better than starting at 50 and ending up with $75,000, or never starting and ending up with nothing. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. That's not just a saying, that's the math.
So the message isn't you missed your window, it's start now, whatever now looks like.
Start now with whatever you have, because the only move worse than starting late is staying still.
All right, so I'm sold on the concept. 100 a month, start early, leave it alone. But where does the money actually go? Like, where am I putting this?
Index funds, specifically something that tracks the S&P 500. You open a Roth IRA. That's an individual retirement account where your money grows tax-free. And inside that account, you put your money into a low-cost index fund. Vanguard has one called VOO. Fidelity has FXAIX. Schwab has SCHB. All of them basically do the same thing. They mirror the performance of the 500 biggest companies in America.
Is there any cost to that?
That's the right question. Some of these funds charge less than 0.05% annually. That's basically nothing. You want to avoid anything with high expense ratios. That's where a lot of people quietly lose money. They don't even know they're losing.
So the move is open a Roth IRA, put the money in a low-cost S&P 500 index fund, and don't touch it.
That's the whole strategy. I know it sounds too simple. People want something more complicated because complicated feels smarter. But simple and consistent beats complicated and inconsistent every single time.
What about people who can't afford $100 a month right now? Like, genuinely, what if the budget is tight?
Then you start with 50 or 25 or 10. Because here's what matters. The habit is worth more than the amount right now. Getting yourself into the rhythm of investing monthly, of treating it like a bill you pay yourself first. That behavior compounds too, not just the money, the discipline.
Pay yourself first.
Before rent, before food, before anything, a piece of every dollar you earn belongs to your future self, even if it's small, because small and consistent is how you build the habit, and the habit is what gets you to the number.
And you can always increase it over time.
Every time you get a raise, a bonus, a side income, you increase the contribution. You started at 50, now you do 100, now 150. The base habit is already there. You're just turning up the volume.
So, if the math is this clear and the strategy is this simple, why is the average American retiring with less than $100,000 saved? That's wild to me.
Because knowing the math and feeling it are two different things. $100 today is real. $600,000 in 40 years is abstract, and humans are not wired to sacrifice something real today for something abstract in the future. That's just how we're built.
So it's a psychology problem more than a money problem.
For most people, yes. It's not that they can't find $100 a month. It's that $100 a month feels like it disappears into nothing. They don't see it working. The account goes from $100 to $200, and they think, this is pointless. I'll never get there. And they quit.
But compounding doesn't even really kick in until later.
Exactly. The first 10 years are almost boring. The magic happens in years 20 through 40. That's when the curve starts bending upward hard, but most people quit in year 2 because they can't see the curve that's coming.
So the discipline is in trusting the math even when you can't feel it working.
That's it. You have to decide up front. I'm not checking this for emotional reasons. I'm not moving this when the market drops. I'm not touching this when I want something. You set it, you automate it, and you let time do what time does.
Let me ask you something real. Why didn't anybody teach us this growing up? Like, this should be mandatory in school.
It should be. But here's the honest answer. A lot of the systems around us make more money when you spend than when you save. Credit cards, car loans, retail, entertainment, all of it is built around you spending today. The compound interest lesson works against consumer culture, so it doesn't get pushed.
So it's not an accident that people don't know this.
I'm not saying there's a conspiracy. I'm saying the incentives don't line up in your favor, which means you have to seek this out yourself. You have to be the one who decides to learn it, apply it, and pass it on.
Pass it on. Like we're doing right now.
Like we're doing right now. Because the biggest wealth gap isn't between rich and poor. It's between people who understand how money works and people who don't. That gap is closable, but you have to close it yourself. Here's what I want you to walk away with today. $632,000. That's what $100 a month becomes over 40 years at a historical average return. You contribute $48,000. The market contributes 584,000. That's the deal that's available to you right now. Not to rich people, not to people with connections, to anyone who starts.
And the only thing that can take that deal off the table is waiting.
Waiting, overthinking, telling yourself you'll start when you have more. Every month you delay is a month of compounding you never get back. Now look, I'm not your financial advisor. Do your own research, talk to a professional. Make sure whatever you do fits your actual situation. But the principle we talked about today, that's not opinion, that's math.
The math never lies.
Plant the seed, nephew. The tree doesn't grow overnight, but it grows.